We're wiping out the terror regime of Hamas and ensuring that this savagery will never threaten Israel again. That's what we are doing. That's what any self-respecting government would do. Yet over time, many world leaders buckled. They buckled under the pressure of a biased media, radical Islamist constituencies, and anti-Semitic mobs. There's a familiar saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Well, for many countries here, when the going got tough, you caved.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu just moments ago addressing the United Nations. He delivered a powerful message to Hamas, the hostages still held in Gaza, and detractors of Israel's war efforts. And just before his speech, this happened.
Please, order in the hall. Please, order in the hall.
So that was a moment as dozens of delegates, they couldn't stay to listen to a speech, and they had to walk out of the room in protest. Mark Levin is the host of Life, Liberty, and Levin. He joins us now. And just before I get your reaction, Mark, President Trump spoke from the White House. He might have made a little bit of news. Let's listen to him here about a possible deal with Gaza.
I think we have maybe a deal on Gaza, very close to a deal on Gaza. There he is. Hello, Peter. And it's looking like we have a deal on Gaza. And we'll let you know. I think it's a deal that will get the hostages back. It's going to be a deal that will end the war. It's going to be a deal which it's going to be peace. I think we have a deal. That'll be number 8, Peter. Not 10.
Mark, I misspoke. I said a deal with Gaza. Obviously, it would be on Gaza. Do you know anything more about that?
A little more, but the president contacted me right before Benjamin Netanyahu's speech. I don't really feel comfortable discussing what he spoke with me. I will say this. This reporting that he and Netanyahu are loggerheads, completely false. I mean, he didn't have a harsh word to say about Netanyahu. There was no animosity whatsoever. He really likes him. I know they like each other. I was in Israel last week for a totally different matter, spent time with Benjamin Netanyahu. I spent time when the president wants with the president. These are two great men. They're not really about picking fights with each other. They know they're on the same side of history. They know how important what they're doing is. President Trump is well aware, as the biggest supporter Israel has ever had, that they are surrounded by enemies. He tries to work with a number of these Arab states and so forth and so on. But I will say this. I don't know what this situation is, but there has to be 3 things. Hamas is gone, the hostages are out, and Israel's security is non-negotiable. It's that simple. And if that's what the deal is, God bless them. We will see. The president is working very, very hard to try and get this resolved. And that's what makes him so different. And he's not leaking against Netanyahu. The leaks are coming from the Lilliputians, sort of the weasels that surround a president, or maybe out of one of the departments or something like that. These guys like each other. Doesn't mean they always agree. You know, Jack Key made a great point. World War II, you had Churchill and you had FDR in this foreign policy realm. There were a lot of things Churchill wanted to do where FDR just couldn't agree with him because of his own domestic situation, but Churchill had to do certain things on his own, or he'd pull back and that sort of thing. That is the relationship between allies. The president has strong disagreements with Macron, and he made it public. He made it public what he's doing with the Palestinian state. He has strong disagreements with the UK PM. He's made that public and so forth and so on. So an alliance is not about always agreeing any more than a marriage is. An alliance is about having allies that have fundamental agreements and trying to work those things out. But I just wanted to make clear here, there's no hostility between Donald Trump and Netanyahu. Again, there may be disagreements on issues here and there may be staff who are trying to create hostility, but it simply does not exist.
I agree with you on terms of it does seem like there are others who want there to be hostility. They're willing there to be hostility, but these 2 leaders have resisted that, and thank you for sharing that. Martha McCallum was able to have an interview sit down with the president of Iran last night. It will air later today, but we have a little snippet here. Listen.
do you see a future, do you want a future where Israel exists and that Israel can coexist with its neighbors?
Anyone who does not oppress, who treats other human beings humanely can live. But whomever tramples upon such basic laws of humanity and behaves in such a way that is inhuman, that faces other human beings to confront it for its injustice and aggression.
It's interesting to hear from him after what Iran has gone through at the hands of Israel over this past year. What did you think of that?
Well, he wants the world to think he's Mahatma Gandhi or something. I want the people to understand they've executed 900 people who they claimed are political opponents since the end of the war with Israel. They have torture chambers, rape chambers all over that country. They have brutalized young women who won't cover their hair and cover their faces. It is a horrendous, vile, genocidal regime. And as a matter of fact, almost every regime in that area does exactly the same thing. Let's be honest. And I want people to understand if Israel didn't exist, I don't believe any of these Arab countries would be aligned with the United States. I think they would all be aligned with China, Russia, Iran perhaps. They'd have no reason to be aligned with the United States. I think the whole world and that region in particular would be completely different militarily, geographically, in terms of oil and so forth. I think the reason why the United States has a significant presence in the Middle East is because of Israel's strength and their resolve and their power. But if Israel wasn't there, the holy sites would be gone. They'd be destroyed like the Taliban destroyed those beautiful Buddhist temples and so forth in Afghanistan. It would all be wiped out. And I would ask people this question: where are all the Christians in the Middle East? They're almost non-existent. In Syria today, as I speak, they are slaughtering Christians. Nobody's covering it. And who's trying to defend them? The Israelis. They're slaughtering Druze. Who's trying to defend them? The Israelis. Who's trying to defend people in Iran? And yes, Palestinians who want to get out, who want to be free. The Israelis. Who defended people in North Africa who are trying to get out? The Israelis. People don't, I think, understand or appreciate the extent to which this tiny little country with 9 million people has an incredibly positive impact. But they've made it clear, we're not going to be victims anymore. The Holocaust is over. You come in and you slaughter our people, you are going to be punished. You don't give us our people back, we're going to pound the hell out of you. You keep threatening to kill us, we're going to deal with you. We're not going to put up with your missiles anymore. We're not going to put up with your rapists. We're not going to put up with your terrorism anymore. These people are on the front line. They have to live this every day. They have to deal with it. The sirens going off. When you build homes, you have to have safe rooms and so forth and so on. And the Arabs have won the PR war. The Palestinians have won the PR war, not because they're good at it, because our media suck. Mm-hmm. And so do the Western European media, and so do the media in the Middle East, and so forth and so on. But I think we've got two tremendous leaders here. We really do. Donald Trump and Bibi Netanyahu. This thing will get worked out. I have enormous faith in our president. I think he's been fantastic all over the world. Peace through strength. He means it. When you look at what he's doing now with Ukraine and Russia, just like he did with Iran, he gives them opportunity, 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 and then finally, you've pushed his button and he says, okay, we got to figure out a way to make this right. And he's going to do the same thing, I think, with Gaza.
Mark Levin, thanks so much for being on the show, and everyone be sure to watch his show this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, and God bless.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.